Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. Today, we are going to present the big guy, the guy that kind of led us into this whole entire journey, Mr. Benjamin Robb, my husband.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all of your support. Um, Karen kind of started this channel just recently to kind of give us a behind the scenes look at our new life, how we've slowed down, how we have embraced diversity in our life, and really have not ran towards the problems that we had, but more or less confronted them and have used natural remedies as well as nature to kind of help us to get back to ourselves and realign ourselves. I'm currently on a 5-day fast. I'm 48 hours in, so about 2 days in, and I'm on a water fast. So I'm a little bit irritable. So just keep that in mind. Usually I'm a lot more chipper than I am now, but trying to get through it. My clothes are starting to fit a little bit better though, so that's good. But I'm actually doing it for my spirituality. It is Easter week, so I am trying to kind of do a fast, reflect on Jesus's life and his sacrifice for us. A lot of you know that we are spiritualists. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're not Christians. I am also a Christian and a spiritualist, so I think that's important to be noted. I do believe in a lot of deities. Um, beliefs are beliefs, and I believe in Jesus, Buddha, pretty much all the deities. So that's just, it might be something different than that what you've heard, but that's just truth be told. Karen created this channel basically to give you an insight on our lives slowed down and how we have kind of slowed down, stepped back, and said, okay, our health is our priority. We're not going to work, 9 to 5 jobs. We're not going to overwork, 80 hours a week. Like, we're putting a lot of work into our social media and stuff, but we're not going to do anything that's not, um, out of our realm of beliefs or out of our realm of energy just to appease other people. We're going to first start with our,
Boundaries.
yeah, with our inner soul, and we're going to work with that. And once we build that up, then we'll find our calling. And my calling has been basically towards shamanistic stuff, being a shaman. And I go by the sports shaman. And the reason why I go by the sports shaman is because I love sports. I most importantly love the spirit of sports and what it can do for a community and really what it can do for the world. And
Absolutely.
I like to tap into the energies that are unseen in sports and basically how sports have to do with astrology, how they have to do with the human design. A lot of stuff I have planned for that in my channel. But I was basically led to shamanism um, by going through all the trials and tribulations that I had. And my research has shown that many shamans actually go through this. So many shamans have to go through disease, death, despair, the dark, just to become healers themselves. So that kind of shows you that you have to go through the dark so you can help those in the dark. So I like to think of myself as a shaman
Well, you
because
are
of
a
that.
shaman. Yeah,
Because of that.
I believe it.
And I'm still training, to be my best self, and I'm always going to be trained to be my best self. But I am learning practices to heal. I'm trying a lot on my own. Like I was saying, I'm doing a fast, and shamans will fast. Um, a lot of the stuff shamans do might be looked upon as a little out there, crazy, a little bit say like self torture type of stuff, but it's more to get closer to God and to get closer to that realm. So right now, like I said, it's Easter week. I am fasting. The last time I fasted, I had God speak to me numerous times. God's always speaking to me through different things, but this was a very clear and conscious voice, so I'm waiting on that to happen. It usually happens around day 4 or 5, so that's why I decided to do a 5-day fast. Um, a little bit about me. I grew up in Orlando, Florida. Have always lived here. Love all the Orlando sports teams. obsessed with sports, love physical fitness. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. Not once, but twice have had colon cancer. Once at 21, and then again, 13 years later at 34. So I suffer from a thing called Lynch syndrome, which the cancer usually starts in the colon, which is the Lynch syndrome, and it is a cell family thing. So
It's genetic.
Genetic, yes, thank you. That is the word. So basically, how all this kind of started with Karen and I using these natural herbs was my second diagnosis was with cancer. I had to start using an ileostomy bag after my surgery. Here's one here. So I basically have this bag attached to me at all times, and that's how I use the restroom. So I just undo the bag, it goes in the toilet. A lot of people don't know about these. You'd be surprised. That's why I like to educate people, because a lot of people do not know, especially when you're going into the family bathroom at Disney World and people are going, "Oh, I need to change my baby's diaper. What are you doing, sir? You look healthy to me." And
Yeah.
really, it's a lot easier to go in the family bathroom with that appliance on.
Especially like you're what, 6 foot?
6'2".
So
Yeah.
a lot of handicap restrooms they tend to be very low, and a 6'2" man with something that is more comfortable with my height. I'm 5'2", so I mean that kind of makes it very uncomfortable and difficult to go. So that's why he chooses the family bathrooms, along with the fact that there's privacy, and sometimes they're, from what we have understood in the community of ostomates, is what the community calls themselves. A certain amount of shame, for lack of a better phrase, that we have come to understand that a lot of ostomates, go through when it comes to the bag, because it's a body alteration. You have to get used to, having a different body part.
Yeah, I'm pooping out of my stomach,
Right.
so constantly. So when I go into a stall and I'm standing up, what are people thinking? And then they just hear this, thing drop, and
Right.
they're just thinking like, okay, what
And
is
the
this?
splash, I mean, it could get
Yeah,
on your
what is this guy
clothes.
doing? So in the handicap stalls, I'm actually able to fill a cup, pour it in my bag, and then empty the bag, and it makes it just all so much easier. In a non one, I would just have to empty the bag and then use toilet paper to kind of clean, and it's just way harder and it's not as clean. I'm a very clean
Yeah.
guy. I like to
Yeah.
keep it clean as possible. Usually, I like go as much as possible to keep it clean. So
Right. And the other thing that also I want everybody to pretty much understand is, how did having these herbs and the lion's mane and the dietary changes that we've been implementing for all these months and year now, how have that actually helped you with everything?
So my stoma, which is my opening here, used to be inflamed a lot because of the kind of foods that I would eat. And there was a couple times where we actually had to go to the ER
Oh, I forgot about that.
and go and get them to give me medication to stop the inflammation, and kind of say, okay, buddy, well, you're going to be okay, but let's do an x-ray just to make sure that you don't have anything stuck in there, and all this, that, and the other. We haven't had any. Yeah, it costs money every single time. We haven't had any of those issues since we started eating healthier. I've been chewing my food better, which is very important, but it's also, if you're eating the wrong stuff, it's not going to matter if you're chewing your food right.
Right.
Some of the herbs that we have actually stop inflammation, and right away you can tell that you're not inflamed anymore when literally my stoma goes whoop, and it's not inflamed. So then I can tell my whole body's not inflamed, which is kind of a superpower of mine, because most people don't know if they're inflamed or not, but I can tell right away with my stoma. So there you go.
A little jealous now.
Yeah, so there you go. Right when it's like shoot, which right now on the fast, it's like really comfortable. It's like really tiny, and it's like real. Nothing's coming out. It's beautiful.
That's
So
awesome.
it's the best that it's felt since I've gotten it, which is saying something.
Which I would also kind of tag along with what you're saying, and it would also relieve your anxiety on, you know, the whole entire, because I've seen how stressful it can be, because sometimes a lot of people don't actually talk about this that I'm aware of, but there's certain things as a faulty product in a bag, and sometimes you have leakages, if you catch my drift. And, not only a leakage through your shirt, but, the smell and all that stuff. So there's a lot of things that are incorporated into this brand new lifestyle, and trying to balance everything has been definitely a journey, but it was an added stress. Ever since we've been incorporating certain things like the lion's mane extract, specifically, as I stated in my previous video, that to me, I was kind of explaining how that just made my mind feel more awake. What
Yeah.
was your experience? Because we have different bodies, different,
Well,
experiences.
the lion's mane we first tried with a product called Odyssey, which is an energy type drink, but it's
Mhm.
made from all natural compounds, and we found it at a magic shop that we were at.
Mhm.
Um, and the first time we tried it, it was like a euphoric kind of feeling, and that's the first time that I honestly felt with the bag. And you probably don't even know this, but I felt like, oh, okay, there's hope for me.
Oh, wow.
Like I don't have to feel like complete garbage all the time with this bag, because we were walking around this store, and this was like still early in my
Yeah.
recovery time, but we're spiritualists, and we like to go to these stores and look at the crystals and look at the different stuff, the jewelry and the cool, the sages and all that cool stuff, which
Good
is
vibes.
really awesome stuff that we love. But they had a cooler in there that had the mushroom drink, and I'm like, mushroom drink? I'm like, let me see what that's about. So we bought two of them, and we drank them right there on site. And I just remember there's a picture of me still to this day, and I'll post it on our thing, that I'm smiling. I'm just like, I remember that being like the turning point where I was like, I can actually live this life with this stoma bag and still be happy, because I felt a certain way. And a lot of people, when you say mushroom, you think, oh, psychedelic, but these have no psychedelic compounds. It's just like, um, it's not even like drinking a beer. Like drinking a beer
Yeah.
is more like of a drug than a lion's mane. A lion's mane, you can go to Whole Foods and get a whole lion's mane mushroom right now. It's legal. But it just makes you feel a certain way about your cognition, and especially for us that have ADHD and stuff, it really helped me kind of like focus in on, okay, calm my anxiety, calm all this, that, and the other, and kind of get my mind clear. And I've noticed that with a lot of the herbs, with the mugwort, it helps clear my mind.
Mugwort is his favorite.
It is my favorite.
We're gonna add a little about mugwort in a different video, because I think it deserves its own video. It's that good.
Yeah, it does, because it has a lot to do with like stimulating your brain and connecting your. Is it right there?
Yeah, I actually have it. I brought, just to know what to show you guys. We're almost out of the mugwort, but it is a 2-ounce bag that we got at our current store that we go to. It's Mystic Minerals, and this is such a cool plant, an herb. Look how much it costs. I don't know if you can see, but it is about $6.80, and all you need is a tablespoon. And if two people are having it, 2 tablespoons, and it lasts so long, and the benefits of them are amazing. They truly
Yeah, we
are.
just put them in our tea, and we have a special tea machine that it actually, which I'm sure Karen has put in videos already, that really makes it a lot easier to do your tea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the traditional, beep, making that
The
noise, which
kettle.
I like the kettle noise. More about my mental health, like, because a lot of people don't know really where I was at and how bad it was. I mean, I can
Yeah.
talk about cancer, I can talk about the bag, I can talk about, you know, I was in a wreck and I had back surgery too, and how hard it was and how much weight I gained, and that all sucked. But before all that even happened, I had the first cancer, and then I had the really bad anxiety depression where I went into rehab twice for a medication called Adderall, which a lot of you know, of the drug Adderall, and the drug clonazepam. And the mixing of the two really put me in a spiral where I was just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I couldn't control really much of anything in my life. I couldn't control my brain. I couldn't control my driving. I got in a big wreck. Um, had had hit a pole, and was taken straight from there by my father and my sister to a psych ward because they didn't know where else to take me. And I can just remember being like, I never want to be in this place again. And even that didn't get me as right as my wife did. When I met my wife, she said, we're going to get you better. And she has, and we have. And we've done it in a natural way. We've done it very, very slowly. It's not going to happen overnight.
No.
It's going to be a long journey. It's not going to be like,
It's testing what works and what doesn't.
it's not going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go without alcohol for, in a lot of these rehab centers, and I know that they try their best, but a lot of them want you to stop cold turkey on everything, and then that's going to work. Well, in my opinion, that's not the way to do it. So I was up to, I think, 7 mgs of the clonazepam a day, and I think it was four mgs of the Adderall. So 4 pills of Adderall, 7 pills of benzodiazepine. So that is just astronomical that I'm even still alive.
Yeah.
But I've slowly, obviously, stopped over the years. And I can say now that I'm down to a half of a benzo a day and no Adderall. And I've been off the Adderall for about 3 years now. So
it can be done. It's just you have to find what works for you. And I was just telling Benji this yesterday, that sometimes when you are in that kind of a low, it before knowing all of the situation that he had gone through, I was like, well, you got to do it for yourself. You got to find that that grit and stick to it. And the tips that we normally get as neurodivergents, just write it down, or type of things. And it's not as easy as it may seem.
a
And
lot of people would tell me, strap up your boots.
yeah.
Hit the pavement, or really try harder. And it's like,
Right.
I'm trying as hard as I possibly could. I think the best advice that I would give to somebody that's struggling is don't try harder. Try less, but give yourself love.
Yeah.
And understand that you're not the only one that's going through it. So, like, don't try harder, because if you try harder, what's going to happen is you're going to keep going down that path. What you have to do is you have to kind of step back. You have to realize that you're going to be okay, number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, you have to trust the process. Number three, you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to believe that you can do it, and take baby steps. Go from that 7 mgs a day to maybe 6.5, then go to 6, then go to 5.5, then go to 4, then go to 3, then like it's all a step, just like anything else.
Right.
But
Sorry, I
no, go
didn't mean
ahead.
to interrupt, but I also want to make sure, because we are on a YouTube channel, that we say that this is not medical advice. This is just literally the steps that he has taken with
Right.
regards to his medicine. If it's something that, you know, you are looking for medical advice, we definitely do recommend that you go to your own personal doctor and talk about, you know, these things, and feel free to actually share, you know, as much as you can, because the more that they know, the better that they can help you, number one. And number two is the fact that, you know, if you want to do this, you know, through the holistic way, then look for holistic healers. They're naturopaths. There are herbalists such as myself that will be able to go ahead and assist with that as well. So, but don't take your life for granted and just think that it's not worth it, because it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was at that point too. I was at that point where I was going to give up, and Karen's been there before too,
Hmm.
where we just wanted to give up and say, hey, this isn't worth it because it's hell every single day.
Yeah.
Well, you can get out of that hell. It just takes, time, and it takes some help.
Hmm.
And we're here to offer that help to people, whether it be, just messaging back and forth on social media or a phone call or whatever you may need.
Yeah, like we can share the resources and the tips that we have come across. In fact, that's the reason why we made this video, because I personally, before I met Benji and I was going through my own stuff, I didn't have people reaching out and saying, hey, let me see. So, what you're saying is you're going through this and you're also going through that. That sounds like this. Let me go ahead and give you some information or some tips or anything. We didn't have guidance. And we had well-meaning people in our lives, you know, throughout these times, but guidance sometimes is the best help out there, and especially from someone that understands your perspective.
Well, I think experience is the best help.
Right.
So it's like I've literally been to the point where I can't get out of bed. Even worse, I've been to a psych ward where they have padding on the wall and in the showers, and you're looked at as like an animal. So it can't get much worse than that. So it's like,
Right.
and all that I look at as it was all a test. And a lot of people kind of look down on that. They think like, okay, well, if there was a God, why would they test you with all that stuff? Well, I needed all those tests,
Yeah. Yep.
to become the person that I am today. And I'm still building on the person that I'm becoming, because like, look out, because I'm coming. And when I come, it's going to be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be nuts. And
Wait for that arrival.
yeah. But like when I was in my addiction slash just up and down, I made many trips to the ER. I lost a lot of friends. Um, I was always stuck in fight or flight. So if you've ever felt like you were like on a roller coaster, I was always stuck in that state for years. So it just did a lot to my body. Like it just did a lot to my mind, where I was just stuck in that fight or flight. So like I literally didn't know that that wasn't natural after a while. Like I was just so used to it. So
Absolutely. Um, I had shared on the previous video about the fact that we were stuck in that fight or flight mode and we didn't know how to relax. So, in our experimenting with natural ways of healing, we came across um, Delta 9, right?
yep. Yeah.
Delta 9, and we started taking the gummies because we heard from the people that were, you know, selling it, and off of research, that it was going to help us relax. And
Did it
once
ever? Yeah.
yeah, once
But
we got it, we're like, whoa, we're not letting go of this. Like we've never been able to knowing that you can't ever shut this up, and then all of a sudden you get something that helps you with that, we get it. We've been there. But we also understood that it wasn't getting us to our goal, which was
Mm-hmm.
to be present, to be awake, to experience life, not just on the couch,
Yeah.
but out there. Get
Yeah.
us, get us moving, get us to build a community of friends and family, and just getting to know people around us
And I
and
think we're
not
still working on
shying
that.
away
We're
from
still
that.
working on getting out of the house more
Yeah.
because we stepped back so far
Mhm.
to be healthy and to set those boundaries that it can be a little bit tough to get back out into the real world and say, hey, we're back, but we're back in a different way.
Mhm.
And, I just want everyone to know, if you're my friend or whatever, like, don't take it personal. We haven't been out, we haven't been to parties and all that stuff because we've been trying to do a different way. And we even talked about living off the grid, and all that's maybe coming soon. But
Kind
as
of
far as
excited.
as far as we know, we're just trying to live our best, our healthiest life for our mental health.
Yeah.
And that sometimes comes with sacrifices, as far as like making commitments to certain social things, or making commitments to you know certain things that other people might find very important.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of things that, not a lot of things, sorry. A lot of people don't know that because I was in the service industry, you know, I got somewhat addicted to, well, not somewhat, at this point, is addicted to alcohol. I liked the taste of alcohol. I am that person that even now still I have, a drink or two, but I am in a better mental place to be able to say, okay, I'm stopping. Um, I wasn't able to do that before. And it's because of the lion's mane extract. It's because of the herbs, the medicinal herbs that I've been taking, that has allowed me to be more present and more aware of what goes inside my body. And going through the, for lack of a better phrase, the detox, where I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm just not gonna drink alcohol anymore, before, going into this, holistic way of living. I remember just having dirty looks from people, and just like feeling the shame almost that came with, hey Karen, you want to have a drink? No, and it's okay. I really don't want to. And then the social pressure of, well, why don't you want to have it? It's just a beer, or it's just this. We're only going to have this, and then blah blah blah. And then it became too much. So then at one point it's like, I'm just going to back off for a bit. I know that they don't mean harm. They don't hate me, they're not trying to pressure me, but I feel pressured. I feel like I need to step back and take myself out of that. And unfortunately, in that world of, hospitality, there is a lot of that. And I saw that firsthand, and I understand how hard it can be. So usually there are a lot of battles that humans have, and most of them are internal, in here, up here, and we can't see them. And we, unfortunately, as humans, tend to misjudge whether it's by ill will or not. And we want to go ahead and make sure that we are assuring you that we've been through our lows, we've been through similar things as you have, if you are watching and you identify with this. And we want to let you know that we understand, and there is absolutely no type of judgment here, because we've been through it. We've been judged, for lack of a better phrase. We've been, pointed fingered, and all that. And it's not fun, especially when you're trying your hardest to get better, to get away from the things that you know don't feel good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes an addiction is an addiction, and it's going to be sticky to get out of.
Yeah.
It's not super easy, So thanks for sharing that. And especially with people that may or may not know you. I mean, but we've come to the realization that it's time for our story to be told, and it's time for our knowledge to be shared,
Mm-hmm.
because we're that kind of people. We want to build up, we want to reassure you that you can do it, you got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't sit in an insane asylum. I didn't survive cancer twice. I don't wear an ileostomy bag. I didn't go through years of depression, anxiety to just sit back and just live life. I want to show and help people, and that's why I want to be a healer. That's why I want to be a shaman, because I didn't go through all that just to be like, okay, I went through all that. Like,
Right.
I want to help other people, and I don't care what walk of life you're in, what kind of social economic status, race, religion, any of that does not matter to me. I just want to help people, and to go from where I was at to see where I'm at now, it's amazing, and I just want to keep growing. Keep growing every day, and maybe there's something we could learn from you too.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something that because we're not sitting here saying that we're like saints or anything. Just because I'm a shaman doesn't mean that I'm above anyone. I just happen to go in the dark to bring back the light.
We're learners of life.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be the kind of people that help grow. We want to be that good and healthy land that whenever the community, as seeds of people come in and they put down their roots in our land, that they know that it's good, fertile land,
mm-hmm.
and they'll be taken care of.
It's real. It's not fake land. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
And we may not be for you, and if that's the case, and it's okay. Not everybody is for everybody.
Right.
But we're trying to find our community. We're trying to find our people that connect with us, that want to also learn. And we found out that there is power in sharing, power in community, power in numbers. There's power in humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have such a passion to continue to cultivate relationships and friendships and communities and communication with people, because it's very important to us, and it's a part of us, so much so that we now feel like we've done enough growth and learning, that now we're at a point in our lives where we want to share. And before we were trying to do that, it didn't work. We had not gone through the holistic way. We were still we were still in that experimental phase. So we were still going through the ups and the downs, and the saying, well, we're going to try this, we're going to continue to do this, and then not that. And it was quite the ride, to be honest.
I mean, I'm always going to be experimenting, because that's kind of person I am. I see what sticks. So like right now I'm doing a fast. So I'm still experimenting. How is that going to change my habits or my mind? How is that going to change my relationship with God? What is that going to make me a better person? What's going to happen in these 5 days? I'm through 2 days of it. Today I'm pretty frustrated. I'm pretty like on the edge because I'm hungry, but that's part of the process. And
the hunger is real.
And it's important that we go through those processes to become better souls.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. That's why we chose to come here.
So the last thing that we wanted to go ahead and cover was dietary changes. Uh, go a little more into the herbs themselves, what they did for us, and I also want to show you a little bit of the products that we have and tell you how I came across the dietary changes that were implemented. So starting with the diet, obviously everybody knows, have your vegetables, not a lot of sugar, um, eat fiber, and have your oils and your magnesiums and your vitamins and all that.
A big point to be made with that is the no sugar.
Oh God, yeah.
That changed our fat loss tremendously. Because we were on keto for a little bit, and we loved the keto. I love the keto. I love how my body responds to the keto.
More than I do.
I might get back into it after the fast. I haven't told Karen that yet, but surprise.
I knew you had it coming.
But it's the best way to me to lose weight quickly. Now, it's not, to me, it's not very sustainable for a long period of time. You can do it for, a month, 2 months, but then after that, you're like, okay, I'm tired. Like, I need carbs, right? Mm-hmm. So a good way to do that is to introduce complex carbs back, and that's what we've been trying to do, is do more, like she was saying, vegetables,
like white yam.
White yam, yeah, stuff that's
a complex carb, and it's really good.
Yeah, stuff that, if you have a wife that can cook, it really helps. That can cook really well. It really helps. And then intermittent fasting has always helped me a lot. Just kind of postponing your meal until later in the day. A lot of people say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but it's like, no, the most important meal of the day is actually the meal that you eat. So it doesn't matter if you eat it at, middle of the day or at nighttime. Obviously, you want it at a certain time so you can get some energy, but
as long as it's not Kellogg's, right?
As hunter-gatherers, we weren't meant to eat every 15 minutes. So a lot of people think that we have to stuff our faces every meal, but that's not true. As hunter-gatherers, we got maybe one good meal a day.
The other thing that I would like to mention is that we didn't know that we were doing more harm to our body and whatever it is that we were consuming for food than, because we thought, okay, as long as we go out and we have a salad or two, or I haven't had any water, but I drank a tea, so there's my water intake for the day, and just trying to find your own composition, your body composition definitely has guided us towards what works best for our bodies. And what do I mean by that is the Ayurvedic way of your body compositions basically breaks it down into 3 different kinds. One would be the Pitta, which is the one that I am. Another one would be the Kapha, and then the very last one would be Benji primarily, which is Vata. I can go ahead and if you're interested in all that information, I can go ahead and make another video in more detail with that. But essentially, it kind of guided us as towards what it is that works for him versus what works for me, and how I, as the person who most of the time cooks, because he actually does cook, how we can actually incorporate those ways of nurturing our bodies into the meals that we cook every day, and also it being affordable. And the affordability factor came into place after we started incorporating the herbs, because we're getting our minerals through the herbs, we're getting our vitamins through the herbs as well. So it's just a win-win-win, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and that definitely is something that I would recommend doing, is taking a look at that.
I mean, we don't even think about fast food anymore. Like, we can't even think about the last time we went to Taco Bell or McDonald's. Like, we were on that for a little bit, and that just
and we don't even want it
No, it's just
anymore. Yeah,
ugh.
like look at our faces
It makes
immediately
you
when
feel
we think
sick
of
because
it.
like we had
Yeah,
pizza the other night because we were like, oh, let's have pizza. The
yeah.
NCAA tournament was on, and we're like, let's have pizza. We had pizza, and we literally felt sick for like 2 days. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the fasting too, is because the pizza kind of made me feel like I needed a gut reset again because I
Hmm.
wasn't eating that home cooked meal. So it's like your
Hmm.
body will get used to the fresh food, and it will not like that stuff that they're selling at Taco Bell and McDonald's.
Now, we understand also that it's not as easy as, oh, okay, I'm just going to quit going to, McDonald's or Burger King, or just to the Outback Steakhouse, type of thing. Um, but what we are saying is little changes go a lot further than you think they do. Even if it's replacing your first drink order with water instead of soda, or a vitamin water, or buy a packet of Propel, which is what we do, to add a little bit of electrolytes to aid in the hydration. Because for Benjamin especially, the way that this ileostomy works is his body before wasn't able to sustain all the nutrients that he was giving it, because now it no longer has a large intestine to go through, because
Mhm.
that colon and all that stuff is gone.
Yeah, so I'm often very lethargic, and
Yeah.
I'm still adjusting with that. It's a vitamin B deficiency
Hmm.
and D and all that, but um, we're still working to find out different ways that we can,
Yeah.
use to give me energy without, referring to like Adderall or without like referring to like soda, which is another one. Like caffeine is like, you know, it's nice when you get it and you're addicted to it because you get that serotonin reuptake. You're like, oh, caffeine, my brain loves it. Let me get more. But then when you get off of it, you feel so much better because you don't need that. And then, a cup of coffee goes a lot longer when you're not having soda every day.
Absolutely. Like I said, I now wake up in a good mood. I now wake up with, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the day. This is my plan. I wake up with a purpose, and I wake up happy. And it's something that I've never been able to say before in my
You don't
life.
wake up hungover,
Hmm.
which is a big part of it.
Yeah.
You're not waking up like behind the curb.
Struggling. Yeah, absolutely. And like I stated before in the previous video, and if you haven't, please go ahead and check it out. It's just an introduction before I introduced Benji. Um, but before that, it was just very hard for me to just find any type of balance, because I didn't even know what I was working with, because I didn't even know how bad I was up here in here physically. I i didn't know how depressed I was. I didn't know that I could go out for a 10, 15, maybe even 20-minute walk and feel better. And that was part of the therapy that would help me in feeling better. I didn't know that just talking things out was going to be the best way to me untangle everything that was up here and just put it into words and make room by letting it all out.
Hmm.
And sometimes, like I said, it's the little things that will help you go further and further and further. The other things that we wanted to let you know of is I actually brought a couple of the things that we use on a daily basis to continue giving us that
Is that
amount
going to be read the right way?
of energy. Yeah, I'm not sure, but for those who can't read backwards, that's moringa. Moringa is kind of like a matcha in a way, to the point to where they kind of do the same thing. Everybody has heard about matcha at this point, and if you haven't, definitely give it a gander. Look it up. It's really good for you.
It's caffeine free though.
It's very much caffeine free, but it gives you the same amount of energy that caffeine does. The only difference is because it's a different kind of herb, it has many more uh, oh goodness, nutrients that will help you sustainably have that energy throughout the day. So it works with your body to give you that constant energy, so where you're not going, okay, now I need another cup of coffee after my sugar what's that called, crash.
More protein, iron, fiber, and calcium than kale.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
And
all in one supplement.
All in one supplement. And it not only that, but it has vitamins.
Yeah, the vitamin K is real hard to find.
Yeah.
And it has 130% of your daily values here of vitamin K, which is big.
It's huge. And a lot of these things, you don't have to necessarily, if you're the kind of person that's like, okay, I'm overwhelmed with, I have to take vitamin B, I have to take vitamin C, and all these things, and now it's getting expensive that you have to buy one vitamin and another supplement and another supplement. And let's face it, supplements, I mean, at least a good kind, you know, from good sources and everything, aren't necessarily cheap, right? At least to start off, you know, you can get the smaller versions, but they would last maybe what, a month, and then after that, what, you know? So you're still playing with the budget and everything. And with herbs, like I showed you with the packet of mugwort, $6 for 2 ounces, and that 2 ounces has lasted us, how long has it been now? 2.5 months now, since February that we got it. And it's almost the end of March now, and we're still using it.
And you can put that in tea, or you can smoke it out of a pipe.
Yep.
Which the pipe will go straight, it'll go faster because smoking something will go straight to your brain. So if you're someone who suffers from anxiety, we actually have an anxiety tea mix that you can also smoke, because it's an herb. So you can smoke it, and then you feel automatic anxiety relief. Yep. Or we have a one that is a sleep tea that you can also smoke, so it'll work faster. We haven't tried to smoke the tea one yet. We have smoked the Blue Lotus. That was an awesome experience. We'll tell you about that in a further video.
The Egyptian flower.
The Egyptian flower. For those who don't know. Yeah, the Blue Lotus.
Check it out.
Very shamanic type of flower, I think.
Very. Very much.
So I think we can wrap it up at this point.
The last thing that I wanted to mention is the one thing that has helped us, especially in emergency situations when the anxiety gets very high. And like a couple of weeks ago, you were starting to run out of your medicine.
It was ADHD.
The ADHD medicine. That's what it was, sorry. And I remembered, hey, you know, there's a certain, you know, amount of knowledge in the herbal world. And one of these is Bacopa. It's Bacopa. This thing is just as good, if not even better, honestly, in my opinion. Then now that is very bitter, so be very careful with that. And also another tip, I know I'm going everywhere right now, but you know how you have bitters in your cocktails? Herbs also are bitters because that's where the bitters came from. So whenever you have tummy troubles, you can go ahead and use those bitters. Now, again, there's a reason why they're called bitters. They're not too good on the palate, but you can go ahead and use that for aiding in digestion. Especially if you have GI issues, digestive issues, gas, irritability, IBS, and all that stuff.
Comment on the video if you think that I just broke my fast by taking that Bacopa. Because I don't think I did.
Oh gosh, no.
But I'm just gonna.
It's the hunger, people. It's the hunger. As much as I want to give him, he just wants to go ahead and take. The last one that we're going to talk about is lion's mane and the bacopa.
I
Um,
thought Bacopa was bad. Lion's Mane's nothing compared to Bacopa.
bacopa is pretty darn strong, and it's actually so is this moringa. Um, they are um, extracts. They are very powerful herbs. So it's going to be pretty strong. So I suggest that you do your research. And if you have questions, please put it down on the comments. We will be more than happy to answer any questions here. But Bacopa helps just like lion's mane.
Helps the nervous system.
The nervous system. It helps with the mind, cognitive function. So in those emergency situations where Benji was waiting for his prescription to be filled and he was feeling some kind of way because the being off of a medication, you naturally have a certain disposition in how your body feels.
Withdrawal,
yeah, withdrawal, for lack of a better phrase. Withdrawal. The Bacopa is there to help. And the more that you are used to putting fresh herbs and medicinal herbs and teas and eating the good things that are natural for your body, the easier and the more adaptable your body will become to them. So what used to take about a month for it to feel the effects will now take about maybe a week and then a day or so, just depending on how much and how many times you are actually using. But again, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, but we want to say a big, big thank you for showing up, for staying for this long. And again, if you have questions, concerns, comments, please put them down on the comment section. Don't forget to like if you do like this content and you would want us to continue to making this kind of content, and share. Sharing definitely helps. That is our goal, to share our knowledge. So if you would want to help us in that as well, we would greatly appreciate it. Any last messages for you from you?
No, I just say please pray for me as I'm going through my fast these next couple of days, and everybody have a great Easter weekend, and hopefully we can continue to make these videos and help you guys out, and you can help us out. Any questions? Again, you know where to find us. Social media. I'm the Sports Shaman on social media. She's Karen Campos, I believe, still on social media. We love you.
Also, he mentioned Easter, so I'm just going to say for us pagans, blessed Ostara.
All right, there she goes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Love.